Steve Albrecht. I'm one of the volunteers here. We're doing an interview with you today because we're orienting a new group of volunteers. If you were going to write a job description for what you do, what would that be?
My name is Robert Smith, and everybody calls me Bob. I'm the maintenance worker here at Billy Frank Junior Squally.
Yeah. How long have you worked here at the refuge?
Started in 2001 on a temporary position that was kind of supposed to be 2 months, which worked into 2 years, and then was off, and then back on several times on a term position, and then eventually got on a permanent position. Probably one of my favorite duties, and probably one of the more important ones here as far as the waterfowl goes anyway, is the field prep for the migrating birds coming in the fall. That usually starts, the mowing starts the middle of July. And we start with mowing our dike edges, tops of dikes and dike edges. Then usually takes a week to 2 weeks there. And then we'll transfer over to the actual field mowing. Some of the areas where we've just got grass growing, we're just mowing those areas down to a certain height, usually 6 inches or so high. And then, but other areas where we have food sources that we're looking to save the birds coming in the fall, whether that be smartweed or plantain or something like that, then we handle those a little different. We'll either leave patches of those untouched. We may go through and leave some of it standing full height. We may go through and then just knock down some of those areas without actually chopping them up. And what we do is we manipulate our water levels over the winter to take advantage of what we've done mowing. We'll start out in the fall at our water levels at a lower level, then gradually over the winter we'll bring water levels up in those units, and that does a couple things. That then, after we figure they've kind of eaten the base portion of the food supply down, then we'll start bringing our water levels up, and then that way bring water levels within reach of, say, some of that plantain and so forth, and some of the taller smartweed tops that they can then make use of as a food source. And then as we bring the water levels up later on in the winter, getting towards our full capacity levels, maximum capacity, then that food sources like the plantain that we've left untouched, then that will come in within reach of the waterfowl to feed on there. And then the other thing that does in the grass areas that we've mowed, that then gives the new edges or new shallow areas as the winter progresses for the birds to then make use of that grass area in shallow water.
Yeah. So what you described is something that I didn't understand, and I think a lot of people don't understand, is that this area is really managed to benefit the wildlife and the waterfowl.
Yeah, it is. We manage for the native plants and native food sources here. Different waterfowl eat different things. You have the geese and the widgeon and stuff like that might prefer the grass. The grass areas and fields, and mallards eat all kinds of stuff. They eat snails, they eat a wide variety of stuff. But the smartweed seed is one of the main food sources that we try to manage for.
So you talk about units and adjusting water levels?
We've got a number of different units out here, 5 units that we really manage water level in. And we can adjust water levels at least to a certain extent within all those units where we want them. They're not all on the same level.
You have such a great job working outdoors and working with wildlife. What are the rewards of your work for you? What really floats your boat and gives you a lot of pleasure with the work you do?
My family actually ran a hunting club for 50 years in Lake Creek Valley, west of Centralia. And so I grew up around it. I came here with a knowledge of what waterfowl like And, you know, so that kind of gave me a jump on, or an advantage in managing some of these areas. Yeah, so I just, you know, something I've enjoyed all my life being around waterfowl.
What's your favorite season here on the refuge?
Well, on the refuge, my favorite season here would be fall, because that's when we're seeing the waterfowl come in, and that's when we see our big numbers here.
What role can volunteers play? How do volunteers interact with your work?
You know, I do hear from volunteers, we got our trail rovers and stuff, so they're out there walking the area, and, you know, I'm not out there all the time. They come across stuff all the time out there from a maintenance perspective, you know, maybe we got a tree down on the boardwalk somewhere, we got a, you know, bad board on the boardwalk somewhere here, or Grace Harbor or someplace like that, so we, you know, I hear about that through them. Now, just recently have a volunteer helping with the lawn mowing out here. You think lawn mowing, well, that's not a big deal, but it's about a 5.5 hour job to mow our lawns around here, you know, once a week.
Yeah.
So we've got a volunteer coming in and helping with that now.
What's your favorite machine here on the refuge?
I will say it's probably our big tractor that we mow with. We've got a new one this year. We've got a number of tractors of different sizes, but considered mid-size. But it's a 155 horse John Deere tractor that we do our main mowing with. We've got a 15-foot flex wing mower that we pull behind it, and you know, I start mowing in the middle of July, and I'm usually doing some type of mowing clear through the end of September, even into October. And then sometimes if we do get an early fall rain, and then I'll have to go over and make a second pass on those to knock that down. And we've also found out that if we let that grass grow back too tall and we get a freeze during the winter, that grass will tend to turn brown and die off. Whereas if we keep it a little shorter, it'll stay green better through those freezes. And one of the other things we do out there is we'll go out and we'll pick certain areas that are not producing the food that we may want for the waterfowl, and we may plow and disc certain areas out there in the springtime. Then those areas will come back and hopefully a more desirable food source.
Well, thank you for giving me some time this morning and for sort of sharing the story about how important your work is and what you do for the refuge.
Yeah.